the Republicans seem to have completely folded on all the things that just 2 weeks ago they were saying was going to cause, sort of the complete failure of the U.S. government. I mean, it's just interesting what's happened in the past 6 weeks. Not even
6 weeks. I mean, they're
4
clearly
weeks
Ebola is still killing all of us.
Well, Ebola is completely off the map now. ISIS is completely off the map now. Now, those things were obviously hyped going into the election, but the president's executive orders on immigration feel like that happened, years ago now.
Yeah.
And the Republicans have already said, we're basically in full retreat mode on this. We've thrown a couple of bones in that we're going to do a reauthorization of the DHS budget in, I guess it's March or February. But that's going to fall flat on their face. They can't defund the executive.
Did you see the House's fun little symbolic vote on immigration now? Which
yes.
was like, you're a bad guy and we disagree, which I would call the giving up the Hispanic vote for the next 10 years.
Well, here's something that I want to... in addition to the big bump in the polls that the president got from Latinos, and if we have time, we can go into view this from Obama's perspective. I don't know if I buy he's unshackled, he can finally be the guy he wants to be, or as much as this is his only option. And great, I don't care either way, frankly.
Right.
But Paul Waldman had an interesting piece. I think this was in the American Prospect. I'm not sure. There was a new poll on the idea of citizenship, path to citizenship versus deportation. In November of 2013, just about a year ago.
Yeah.
Republicans supported a path to citizenship over deportation 43 to 38%. Okay, so 43% wanted them to have a path to citizenship, the 38% deportation. Today, it is deportation 54% to path to citizenship 27%. So they have become more entrenched in a position over the course of 13 months.
Yeah, and that's what they've been fed. I mean, they've been getting fed that by Fox News, by Ted Cruz, by, and there haven't been, even the ones who are supporters of it, of a path to citizenship here, McCain, which who knows, I think today he is, but tomorrow maybe he's not. And Lindsey Graham, they'll certainly speak up about, going and bombing ISIS, but they can't be bothered to open their mouths and talk about immigration reform, which they supposedly believe in very strongly too. So you don't, that's just two guys, but there's plenty of other Republicans like that too who are in favor of it. But Jeb Bush, but they won't open their mouths to fight it. They let Ted Cruz and Fox News and the rest of them and Rush Limbaugh do all the talking. So it's not really a surprise that the Republican Party has moved into its usual, which is de facto crazy position on that issue because they're not hearing anything else.
But it's interesting because they have now, it's the classic dynamic. They have now created their Frankenstein and they can't come back and do anything about it, right? So they've ginned up all of this angst and anger, and then they are completely flaccid in terms of delivering. So the dynamic between the expectations they've created and what they're able to deliver and their theoretical capacity to deliver, because now, right, they're about to control the Senate and the House, it is fascinating to watch how and what that dynamic does, where you have created greater expectations in terms of what the president has done has been sort of the equivalent of the ascendance of Hitler, not to quote Ben Carson, and the Republicans theoretically have more power to do something about it, yet they're doing almost even less because they have that more power, right? Because they could shut down the government now.
They could.
Very easily.
But they realize that that's the train to CrazyTown that leads their pollster up. At least, the ones that are sort of still, that have bad policies and the rest, but at least are sort of somewhat they're still somewhat in the reality-based universe. But you know, I mean, there's plenty of things they can do, but they're not going to do any of them. As you said, they're going to huff and puff and sort of fake it and threaten to shut down the government or threaten to do this and pass stupid symbolic measures about how terrible this is. You know, it's the end of democracy, except for, of course, when Reagan did it. But you know, they're not going to do anything. No, I agree. I mean, it's kind of like they were ready to pass this tax extenders deal, you know, and with that, they remember what they were saying. Well, with what you do with immigration, I don't know if we can work with you anymore. Well, that took all of like a week when it was something they wanted, you know. So they're just full of crap.